My Hero Academia.
All I'm going to say first is, whoa. Whoa.
Whoa.
Whoa.
This is My Hero Academia.
You want to talk about people listening? Authors listening, potentially, to New Jump City podcast? Maybe? With a translation right next to them? Like, it's the same such and such and such and such.
Or literally just everybody who ever reads My Hero Academia, I guess?
Well, I live under a rock, so.
This is My Hero Academia, chapter 335, Zygotes. The cover page is All Might holding an egg, and just be like,
Imagine the egg in the microwave. Remember that?
Hey, Deepool, you do remember old My Hero.
I've been watching the anime.
Oh, yeah, you have been.
It's been like a week, though, since we watched it, but we'll get back to it.
Hell yeah.
Making me appreciate the series a lot more, I'm not gonna lie. NGL.
Last we left off, All Might has just announced that since the passing of Star and Stripe, her sacrifice has allowed them a couple extra days of training. It used to be like literally the next day Shigaraki was going to be ready to go, but now they got 6 more days, basically.
I'm just going to say this now to get it out the way, so I can make room for what I want to talk about earlier. I'm still tight about this. These are all arbitrary time constraints that had nothing. No, you know what? I better be having my foot in my mouth in a few chapters down in the future, because this all this timetable moving and rescheduling, and it's really this, but it's really that. This better play into the story somehow. Like, oh yeah, we tricked y'all into thinking it was this time, or yeah, this. I don't know, bro. There better be something deep here, because, bro, what the fuck is this? Is he changing his mind? Is he like, oh, okay, actually, let's wait.
Here's the thing. I don't
like, bro. What's the fucking point?
I don't think he's changing his mind, but I think the arbitrary scheduling and rescheduling is kind of annoying as well. I'm like,
because it's in his head, like it's not real.
It's like,
so you know what I'm saying?
Yeah, you can decide whenever you want.
He's worrying too much about like plot holes or something. I don't know what it is. He's like on some Jujutsu Kaisen shit, but weird. It's really weird with time.
Yeah,
I don't know why he's doing this.
It is bizarre.
That is literally my only criticism of this entire chapter.
Because we've done this before, where it was supposed to be like, we've got 3 days.
4th time.
We got like 3 days, and then it was like, oh no, he's already here, and then it was like, oh no, we got 3 days, and then it was like, oh no, now we have a week.
It was like a few months.
Yeah, it was a few months.
Then it was a week.
Then it was now.
3 days. Then it was right now. And now it's back to 3 days. And that's excluding the stuff they were talking about back to Dirty Boy was running around the city. When they was talking about, oh, they're making plans soon, and they was talking about, oh, we're gonna meet up with the heroes and versus them.
Yeah, it's very weird. But here's where I'll say this is Horikoshi also being like, well, just because it's a week, here's why it might last more than maybe 2 years, maybe, kind of. We learned that as Shigaraki is recovering, there's massive civilian evacuation efforts, and all remaining heroes are hunting for villains. So eventually, all-out war is inevitable. Here's what you're up against. Here are the things that Here are the things that need to happen before the story can end.
Number 1.
First things first, Shigaraki's around. We don't know really what his deal is, but, All For One's in him. Then we also have All For One, the main body.
Himself, Old Raisin Boy.
Old Raisin Man.
Yep, he's still a threat, but, not that big of a deal.
Mr. Greedy Lima Bean Man. He's chilling out there still.
Memes.
There's Dobby, who is...
Emo Dobby.
Yeah, he's just chilling, drinking his haterade for now, but we still got to deal with him. We have Himiko Toga still out there, and there's 6 remaining high-ends, near high-ends, I mean, and the remnants of the Liberation Front, however many of those there are. We have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 shown villains with designs that we might have to deal with at least. That might be an arc in and of themselves, because they are drawn. Horikoshi put effort into their designs, so they might actually be characters.
So all right, and to me, the biggest thing was the nomos.
Yes,
them actually being clear about how many are left and that they are high and that they are obviously on the same issue level as the one that fucked up Endeavor and Hawks.
Yeah,
because I still remember that, and I still remember, like, in my mind, if that same Nomu was the guard on the loose, I don't see anybody stopping that shit outside of, I guess, Deku.
Mm-hmm.
Maybe maybe. I think you lose probably, but whatever. And so they are still a big deal.
Yeah,
but it's smarter that he's keeping them in because you don't want to lose any of them because they are that. It's smart. I get it. I just wanted clarity on the matter, and that's exactly what he gave us. And thank you for taking a page out of Kirkman's book. Right?
Yeah.
Right.
There's more. Also, there's also the escaped convicts that All for One broke out. So whoever knows how many of them,
even though they took out the coolest one already in a show of Midoriya's strength.
Yeah. There's also as the Tentacle Kid points out, they're likely more allies if Horikoshi feels like it. If he feels like adding more characters. So who knows when this series might end? So maybe it might be more than just 2 years. There's a lot going on. A lot has to happen.
Yeah, I hope so, bro.
I still think we also are probably going to get a more comprehensive flashback for One for All and All for One. That's going to happen.
And hopefully that'll take a long time, like the Odin flashback.
Yeah, on top of that, there are other character flashbacks like Shoji, who, the Tentacle Kid. Well, I don't know why he wears a mask. That's important. They pointed that out.
Aside from maybe being a Kakashi fan.
Kakashi?
Yeah, Naruto might be a manga in that universe. Why not?
No, for sure. There's like assorted character flashbacks that need to happen, and characters. Oh,
especially one in particular.
Are you talking about Ojiro?
No. No. And it's funny you even bring him up because like they tried to show the low key, look, he's getting ripped. And it's like look at his character growth. It's like, whatever, man.
Look at his abs.
I can get ripped too, my nigga. What does that mean?
Yeah, it's also like half of the characters.
What does your tail do? Does your tail shoot rockets now or something?
Does your tail have abs? It's like half of the children in the show have abs already. This is not impressive, Ojiro. Mineta's probably.
I like how some of the kids look different out of nowhere. Like, oh, they're right. Time skip outfits. Like, when did this happen? When did this girl start wearing her hair like that?
I think it's just because she's inside, just vibing. I think these are just like a combination of like being kind of comfortable because they're home and still having their hero suits on.
These neck up ones. They're all wearing it. I don't love it, but whatever.
Bakugo had that. That was like a thing when he started training with Endeavor. That like the neck up thing because it was like winter.
A few of them have it.
Yeah, some of them got upgrades because of the winter, and Bakugo's in particular. I remember he had like a winter. This is his winter version of his costume. But anyway, they're all just talking about how they've been getting stronger and they've been training, and they have a week to train more. And Midoriya talks about how everyone has agreed to help Midoriya complete All for One and spar with him. But Bakugo, of course, is like, I'm not just doing it for All for One. I'm doing it so I can get stronger as well and test my own strength. Todoroki says the same thing, but just like with 2 words, just saying, that's right. Yeah.
Don't forget, I'm still cool.
I'm still rad. Kirishima comes out and is like, hey, just don't forget to beat me up so my skin can harden even more as the series progresses. And I'm like, that's pretty cool. I'm excited about that. That's cool. I
forgot that his work kind of works that way.
I like Kirishima. So yeah. All Might is just
even though he peaked too early. He peaked in high school, bro.
No, dude. No, he didn't peak.
He peaked in that one arc that was kind of whack. Their fight was the best part of that entire arc.
I'll say that. I will agree with that.
Unanimously.
I don't
Definitely
know.
Wasn't Deku at 100% because of this little girl in the back.
I will say this.
I don't know about zero strategy, just punching away at Overhaul.
I'll be honest.
Oh God, I'm gonna go back and read that fight and tear it apart again.
You're gonna watch it in the anime.
I'm so confident that it was bad.
You're gonna watch it in the anime.
That it was bad.
You're gonna get to it in the anime eventually. didn't even pick up what you said there.
I'm Super Saiyan Blue. And skipping all the training and development and going straight to 100%.
Only for temporary. He can't do it on his own.
All right, I'm gonna relax. I know, but it was lame.
I'll say this.
Like the nigga with strategy and new techniques. What the fuck is that? Punchy. That shit was Dragon Ball Z, bro.
I didn't hate it.
Overhaul to.
I get what you're saying, but I'm not like
fucking sandbender.
That's true. Look, I'm not all about. I'm not like sure about saying the overhaul arc was whack, but I will say that Kirishima's fight was by far the best part of it.
That arc gets a W for whack.
Doesn't even get an L for loss. That was a misleading.
W for whack.
That was a misleading one.
But that fight was awesome.
Oh, dude, one of my favorite
shield and the spear.
The pure shonen moment, like one of my favorites of all time. When Fat Gum was like, "Haha, I'm actually scared of you. Here's my cool ass punch. I took all your attacks," and I'm like, there's so much shonen. I almost died.
Yo, yeah, that was incredible.
Too much shonen power in one moment.
He did the Choji.
No, yeah, that was like that was the Choji, man.
It was lit. It was.
Yeah. All right. So
the
kids continue on doing the Nakama thing. It's just like, yeah, friendship, blah, we're gonna train, blah, get stronger.
Yo, we won't get training on, but it's cool.
Yeah.
And they was already training, like they said.
And we cut back to All for One's hideout, which I like to call Haters Cove.
Yeah. Jealous people incorporated. JPR.
As Shigaraki is convulsing on the floor with pure hatred. I don't think I've ever hated anything this much. To be like, I hate everything so much.
You know what's crazy? I had to watch the anime again to realize that Shigaraki really does hate All Might. That's where it started. He hated All Might.
Mm-hmm.
Kind of a weird reason. It wasn't really that like concrete in my opinion, but you know, I had to remember that. I was like, why is he so mad at All Might? This girl is the one that violated you, and all you think about is Midoriya nowadays.
Yeah. So yeah, he's convulsing on the floor. All for One is in the background, like, calm down.
But smiling still, like, yes, he's growing into me too.
Good.
It's so weird, yo.
Let the hate float through you. Good.
Our minds are fusing.
Hey, I'm fusing my mind with this 17-year-old boy.
It's so weird because he knows that, like, that's not going to be him. The funny thing is, he's actually like cloning himself, and he's going to die.
Yeah,
but himself is still going to live on. It's totally different from reviving yourself. I'm not going to lie; it takes some real balls.
Yeah,
to do some shit like that.
I mean, honestly,
it's all purely philosophical. He is going to die and cease to exist.
Yeah,
there's no getting around that. Like, he's not transferring his mind anymore. Shigaraki is becoming an amalgamation of, I truly understand what's going on now.
Yeah, exactly.
And All for One will perish, and he's okay with that, yo. Unlike Emperor Palpatine, who, no way. There's no way he was giving up. No. Yeah. That was iconic, bro.
This is the saltiest old man on the planet going, no.
Then he's just lightning. No, well, that was before that. Anakin ran and he started shooting the lightning. What a bitch, bro.
Yo, fucking Palpatine sucks, dude.
Yeah, I didn't see the newer Star Wars, so I heard he was dealt with, but he wasn't.
Yeah, I mean, you know.
I don't know. I guess I'll find out one day.
Yeah. So Orochimaru, I mean, All for One is like, time for me to fulfill the old villain trope of merging with a younger boy. And he's talking about how, like, no sense dwelling on a single foiled plot. Calm down. And he looks over to Dabi. He's like, hey, Dabi, I'm going to need you to, like, chill for a little bit longer. And Dabi's like, no, I want to kill my father.
I just said, nah, screw that. And I think it took everything in All for One's will, what remains of him, to not hover over there and smack the shit out of him. Because, you know, he's like, Toya. Listen, let me educate you to something real quick. All right, you gotta think about this shit in steps, okay, sad boy? Okay,
Dude.
Mr. Emo.
Dude,
Right?
I love
Right.
that visual of all for. I love that visual of All For One hovering over silently and then just smacking the shit out of Toya. You do what I say,
little boy. Speak out of turn again.
Yeah, and he talks about, my dear Toya, you know what the difference between you and me is? I am Aizen, and I plan out every little possible thing ever, so my ass is covered for any future things that may happen in this story.
It's quite foolproof, actually.
I mean, that's the one thing that Aizen never did. He never claimed up front, up top, that, like, I planned literally everything.
Well, he says that this right now that's going on, that
Up
was
here. Me. Hey,
this is all according to mine.
I've been sitting on life support for 20 years. I had nothing to do but think of plans. So, take that.
What?
And he talks about how, I weave plot years or even decades prior so that I may employ a viable route when the time comes, a route that inevitably achieves my ends. Now the advent of my perfected vessel is delayed, and Yue has welcomed Izuku Midoriya back into its sturdy walls. But what I have that you lack, Toya, are friends to spare. And the chapter ends with a big final page of the invisible girl being outed as All For One's spy on the inside.
Whoa. That's not confirmed. He just said that she's his friend.
Oh, you're right, Brian. Never mind.
Oh, let me tell you this, bro. When I tell you, okay, RGC, by the way, we're at the end of the chapter. I can say it, right? RGC, guys. All right, so I wasn't being. I guess that's the problem with always being sarcastic, is that sometimes you don't know when I'm being serious.
It's a dangerous weapon.
I really meant that I was surprised with Brian because this was a very well built chapter. Literally, except for the whole timing thing in the beginning, I really feel like he knew that he was doing too much and literally I feel like he made these decisions literally during the start fight. I think he just was like, I need to take my fucking breath. Maybe I can do more stuff like this where I don't even have to write and just make big cool scenes and people will eat it up. Guess what? We will. That's why we like the series in the first place, because of that stuff. It never was the most complex story. Did we ever claim that it was the most deep and complex story with an awesome plot?
I don't think we did.
Nope, not one of us.
Not
even
canonically.
Brian, the biggest fan. You know what I'm saying? But what we all loved was the characters and the potential we was going to see in the fights and stuff. That's what we want to see. But anyway, well built chapter. It makes total sense. Obviously, that the Invisible Girl is the traitor, but
Trey.
We never got a backstory from her, and something tells me that it's going to be way deeper than we think. So I don't look at this with sadness. In all seriousness, I didn't really think that 11 would be the bad guy, but I thought it would have been so sick to be able to call that.
It would have been sick.
Obscurity. Hey. Hey, who else knew? But obviously the Invisible Girl didn't.
Yeah.
And I knew it wasn't the mouse either. He was kind of concrete, but it was funny cracking jokes about it.
Yeah, it was funny to theorize.
What this chapter did for me was make me incredibly hopeful for the future, and that was the best I could ask for out of a My Hero Academia chapter at this moment. And for that, it beat out Zoro unlocking his Conqueror's Haki. But I bet you whatever My Hero does next won't beat out him actually fighting with said Conqueror's Haki. So,
yeah,
be fair. Why don't we go around the room and share thoughts before I get into some more thoughts?
Yeah, I have.
I would have given it to Zoro. I would have given it to this chapter if I wasn't such a Zoro simp.
Yeah.
You are, Brian.
Hey, I'm also a Zoro simp. So
now.
We are all Zoro simps up here.
I'm
clearly not.
In general, I like all the guys. No,
clearly, you wouldn't give an RGC just off the actual prospect of
I
Zoro
wasn't that
going like,
surprised. I wasn't that surprised that Zoro got Conqueror's Hockey, but I respected the writing and the years and years of development that led to this moment, making it be more than just this cool new power thing. It being this real like rite of passage type of situation.
no, for sure.
One Piece spent a lot of chapter and time really beefing up the whole prospect of what Conqueror's Hockey is and what it represents.
Mhm.
It's more than just combat.
Yeah.
It's just, but it does assist you in combat, and that's what being. Anyway, we're not talking about One Piece anymore.
Yeah.
You guys have thoughts about My Hero.
Yeah.
Okay.
Brian, do you want to go first?
I think this chapter was really. I was a little underwhelmed by the idea of it being the Invisible Girl because it was kind of expected, I guess. Like, a lot of people were theorizing when those theories were going around about who the traitor is. They were like, "Oh, it's the Invisible Girl, right? Of course it is, because she's invisible."
Yeah.
And then it just turns out that she actually is the traitor. But
Okay. Yeah.
we hardly know enough about her for this to really be hard hitting at all.
Yeah.
And it was kind of soft blown anyway because pretty much everybody expected it. The only time people wanted it to be somebody else was because it would be more interesting if it was like Kaminari or something. But maybe, I don't know. Who knows what they're going to do with her character? Maybe they're going to flesh it out. Maybe she has her reasons for being like an informant. Maybe this is something that Deku has to help her with. Maybe she doesn't want to be evil, but she has no choice.
There's a lot of mystery surrounding the why.
Yeah, there's a lot of avenues to go with this.
Yeah.
Right. So it kind of helps with the whole obvious thing, you know.
Mhm.
It helps that we still kind of don't know. It may be obvious because of characteristics, you know, or the lack thereof story we've seen from her. But you could say that about a lot of the other characters, and you know, we're gonna learn a lot about her. There's a reason she went to My Hero Academia and still chose to betray people, you know.
Yeah.
So that's just me responding to Brian's thoughts. Anything on your mind, Chris?
Yes. Okay, so her name is Hagakure. So Hagakure being the traitor, I really thought of a lot of things. Brian mirrored. I'm gonna like echo a little bit about what Brian said. First things first. Like I think we all like. I feel like every single person who read My Hero Academia, when the prospect of a traitor was announced, the first suspect number one, Hagakure. We were like,
right.
Invisible Girl. We don't know anything about her. It's Hagakure. But then we were like, well, Horikoshi's not just going to give us option number one, is he? So I think that's why everybody, even
after hearing everybody, like he'd change it, right?
Yeah, yeah. He heard everyone in unison go, Hagakure. And he's like,
You think Horikoshi, that's why he took so long to announce it? Is because he's like, oh shit, they all know. He's like, fuck.
Or it was obvious, but it doesn't matter because, you know, like I was mentioning, there probably is so much more to the reasons. And, you know, that's kind of what Horikoshi's been on real heavy recently, that, you know, people make the decisions that they do because of whatever circumstances.
yeah.
Could be a little bit more detailed for
I
my
agree.
taste, but whatever.
Yeah, it is the obviousness that we were all like going with these crazy theories because we were thinking like, what if it's not? If it is too obvious, and maybe that's the perfect red herring, is that it was just such the obvious choice that like nobody would expect it in the end. But my whole thing is also like what Brian said, is that we don't know a lot about Hagakure, and that may be a mechanic of the story. And man, Horikoshi better feel like he's had enough practice in enamoring us with characters that haven't been much of a factor for very much of the character, because he is honestly kind of really good at it. We saw it for the first time actually with Gentle Criminal. He's only been in the story for that like handful of chapters. What was it, like 10 chapters?
And he was one of the most impactful.
Exactly.
I still remember the stuff he talked about.
Yeah,
And it was awkward. It was cool though, you know.
yeah. One of my favorite
he was
fights.
trying to make.
Probably my favorite fight in all of My Hero Academia was Midoriya versus Gentle Criminal, and then he did it again with Star and Stripe recently. So, if there's anybody who can kind of
total opposite of the overhaul fight,
exactly. If there's anything that we can like trust Horikoshi with, is the idea that he'll fill in details that really enamor us with a character after the fact, even if we haven't spent a lot of time with them. Another thing I did have in mind, I should have written it down because now I don't know why I'm blanking it. But on that subject, I forgot.
When was the last time we saw?
Well, I have some.
It'll come back to me if you guys want to go for it.
She was actually outside with everybody when they was like, oh, we don't want Midoriya back, and when everyone was freaking the fuck out and reverting to toddlerhood. She was there. She was out there listening. You could see her gloves and boots, I think, but she had a jacket on, maybe a something like that. I seen she was there.
Yeah.
But she never. The answer to has she ever had any kind of spotlight is never. I mean, I didn't go out of my way to count, but off the top of my head, most of the main characters had something. Yao Yuruzu, the wing guy with the ears. He had his little moment with Midoriya when he was out in the woods when he was dealing with Tokoyami. It wasn't much, but it was enough to get exactly who he was and an understanding, in my opinion.
Yeah.
He never did that with her at all.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? But you know what? She's not the only person he's never really done that with. And this is kind of what I wanted to talk about, right?
Oh my God.
I think this is one of those situations where we have to pay attention to what the actual words, and I don't think this is a reach. He said friends with an S at the end. I don't think that was a coincidence, and I do think Kaminari is not only a traitor, I think that there's more than just those two that are traitors. Yeah. So, and only because it doesn't make sense that they could get so much of the information that they did out of just her, in my opinion.
Mm-hmm.
I think a lot of what had to happen had to be coordinated, and it's not like All For One to put all his trust in just this single person in something that's such a big deal as the school.
Mm-hmm.
I feel like I'm kind of just talking out of my ass with a lot of this stuff, but I'd be lying if I said I had any other concrete proof. It's really just a feeling.
Hey.
And I just don't, I don't want anyone to be caught off guard. I want y'all to keep that in mind. Like it's so we could maybe pay attention to some signs and clues. This could be a red herring in of itself.
Yeah.
That was the ultimate punchline, that this could still be him, like, trying to okie doke us. Because she may be the traitor very well, but she may not be the true malicious one. Maybe she's having feelings and is going back and forth about it. You know what I'm saying? And then there's this real cold-blooded, like, yeah, I've been fake this whole time. Sorry. Blang, blang. You know?
No, dude.
I think that would be fucking epic. And I won't be disappointed if that's not the case, but it's just a theory of mine.
Hey, I'll take it, too. I think that's like...
So many signs still point to Kaminari. And, like, come on, he's just throwing her out there, not with this reveal. He's gonna... There's no way he's giving that up. There's no way he's giving up a big reveal like that.
There's got to be something more.
There's more. There's way more to it. This has to be. That's why I gave this my RGC, because, man, for the first time in a while, I was thinking about this shit after the fact and not just being mad, like thinking anything negative, just like, wow, I wonder where it's going to go. It just gave me brought me back to some of the old vibes.
No, I agree.
That was clever.
Yeah, that's a really cool prospect. The thing is that we've just been focused on the singular traitor. You're right. It could be very well more than one.
Yeah, there is some...
I have friends to spin. He works in units.
There is some mystery behind a couple people. Like when it comes to Laser Beam Boy, Belly Button Laser Beam Boy.
Aoyama?
Aoyama. There is a possibility that he got his quirk from All For One.
What about Class 1B?
Who knows?
Right? Not every kid is guaranteed to make it into Class 1A. Wouldn't it be smarter to have a kid in each class or something like that? You know what I'm saying? If you can.
Yeah. Definitely.
Oh, my God.
Speculation.
speculation,
Yeah.
But
I
those
mean-
are all my thoughts on My Hero. I'm ready to move on. I don't know about you guys, but
Yeah.
like I said, RGC.
Oh yeah, very good. Did I give it to it or did I? Oh, I get.
Yeah, I believe you did.
Yeah, fantastic chapter. I mean, very close. Unfortunately, we are Zoro simps.
Very close. Very close.
We are Zoro simps, so we will always side with the Zoro chapter.